Welcome to Ecom Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show, and where we believe that ads are not bad, ignorance is expensive, and the American dream is alive and well on the internet today. It is Monday, March 16th, 2026. It's cold outside, but it's heating up in here. We're brought to you by Incense, Seguno, Postscript, and AMP, and we've got a jam-packed show for you today. David is 150 calories. The CEO came out swinging on X over the weekend, and a very timely video released by the brand. Obviously, this is going to play out in the courts, but this may be the most entertaining CPG drama for all of 2026. We're going to dig into it. Tariffs aplenty may be over, but Americans want their fair share and are now suing retailers to get back what they should not have paid in the first place because of juiced up prices. What does this mean for all of our retail friends? Joe Rotondo, the protein dealer, founder and CEO of Smearcase, will be joining us on the show, as well as Oren John, the internet's creative director, who will also be giving us the update on the status of hot on the interwebs. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get in here. Get in here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Big weekend. Big weekend. Lots of things happening over the weekend. First and foremost, though, the biggest one and most outstanding to me was what happened with David Protein. Obviously, this is playing out it's going to play out in the courts. A class action lawsuit has been launched, but CEO Peter Rahal has launched this swing over the weekend, and I think that we need to read it here. No one is getting Regina Georged. I don't really know what that means. I lost some context on that. But the confusion comes from how calories are being measured when food is burned in a device called a bomb okay, whatever that word is. It measures the heat released, but nutrition labels aren't based on how much heat something produces when burned. They're based on what the human body can actually absorb and use for energy. That distinction matters for ingredients found in David, such as fiber sweeteners and fat substitutes like EPG. Burning them in a bomb calorimeter treats them as fully digestible calories, even though they are not. That's why the FDA requires different calculation methods for these ingredients when determining calories. David is 115 calories. For people who do not have the context here, huge news last weekend of David being accused of being much more calories than it has proposed itself to be. David Protein also released a bomb video that I think we need to watch because so timely. This news comes out and then they release this video. Jack, go ahead and play it for us. We all need to hear
this. To explain, David.
I heard the CEO named the company after himself.
I heard they put Ozempic inside their bars.
I heard they're banned from Whole Foods for having too much protein.
I heard that the CEO is a huge...
I heard that their next product is going to be a low-calorie chicken sauce.
I heard their ice cream is made from cows that only listen to Joe Rogan.
I heard their bars make you fat as
Great video. Great video. Very timely, spreading rumors. Don't believe everything you hear. David is 150 calories. And then, you know what? There was even more support that came out for them. I'll even say Mike Cernovich, who is tangentially related to ecom. He even came out and said David Barr is telling the truth, 150 calories. I think... Obviously, this is going to play in the courts, but I think they did a great lift for themselves by winning the court of public opinion over the weekend. Colin, what do you say, sir?
Yeah, a lot of this comes down to the main issue here, which is what they have tried to patent in the past called EPG. And so this is a fake fat that actually can't be digested by your body. So the argument with them is, okay, if this can't be digested from your body, then the calories from the EPG don't actually count. And so you have this weird gray area. And so now let's go a layer deeper. So what is EPG? And when you dive into what EPG is, it's a fake fat. None of it can be digested. But when you dive into it even deeper than that, all of the safety research that has been done by EPG is all funded by companies that are currently selling it. And so the FDA didn't do any of its own independent testing whatsoever on this. It just reviewed what was submitted by companies that basically have skin in the game that EPG needs to be at the foreface and being approved. And so there's this very convoluted issue here with ingredients instead of, kind of the quote unquote calorie catch-all, where I don't think this is as cut as dry as Peter is making it out to be. There needs to be a more in-depth dive into actually what EPG is, and the FDA needs to do independent research about how this is actually going to be metabolized here. And I don't think it is actually as clear as they're trying to make it out to be.
I think that them having stood on this strong foundation of 150 calories. Look at all of this awesome protein you're getting and all that it's going to cost you calorie wise. I just don't think they would make this stand if they didn't know already that it could hold up in a court of law. I mean, I think that they would enter into this thing with a strong argument for, yes, this is true. It is actual. It is factual, because they'd simply be setting themselves up to be, I mean, embarrassed across the interwebs and essentially not have a company. So I don't know that the whole EPG argument and, hey, we need to get in and study it. I mean, of course, for sure, for all of these things. Is that the case? I mean, I think so, very likely. I don't know that I trust the FDA that much, but I do trust that surely these guys have gone into this whole proposition with being able to cold, hard, fact, data backed, be able to sustain and defend this argument. They are 150 calories for sure. But I am more impressed. I'm more impressed with how quickly they responded. And I have in my background the Brian Johnson AG1 debate that happened just a few weeks ago, where essentially, Brian personality came out and said, hey, this is bogus. And my product's better. He didn't say that, but he does have a product. And then he memified his way to winning the court of public opinion, regardless of what is actually true. And I thought that what they did from a personality standpoint, CEO getting involved, and then from a brand standpoint, making a winsome video that fits into the trend and also just allows people to say, yeah, I mean, don't believe everything you hear on the internet. That makes sense. That's interesting. I thought that was a great response, just brand wise, from a communication standpoint, when the foundations of their product is being attacked. Yeah, I mean, do you think so? I thought it was a good job by them.
It's a good job from the CEO perspective. I always appreciate a CEO coming out and facing something head on. I think they've basically found a quote unquote legal loophole and calorie loophole with EPG, where it is not being processed. So you can't tax it against calories for the bar, but it's still calories you're intaking. And so sure, it's not 100% false, but guess what? It's not 100% true. It's really not 100% true. And we need to have more gut checks and pushback from the consumer to say, hey, I need this to be more vetted than this. I'm not just going to take your word for it. I want third-party testing.
I mean, I think that is largely the greater oncoming more and more American consciousness is, trust but verify, or maybe it's don't trust and verify. I mean, I do think that's in the zeitgeist right now with eat real food, be able to pronounce the ingredients inside of your products, et cetera. I do think that the American consumer is becoming more and more educated and questioning, what am I putting into my body? That seems to be a wave that, that a lot of companies are riding on. It's interesting that David fits so neatly into that wave. It's a better for you. It's basically as good as a cod of fish or a fish cod. I mean, it fits in that way. But now there's some question like, hey, actually, maybe you're sneaking something in here that I don't like.
Exactly.
I think my prediction is I think they're gonna come out on the other side of this. I don't think
they
this
will.
is gonna be a problem. I don't think this is gonna be a problem. And I say that because like at the end of the day, how long does this take to play out? I think it's gonna take a long time. I mean, if they're gonna go to court, it's gonna take a long time. And in between now and then, they've got a lot of opportunity to make more videos like this. Oh, it's a funny rumor and it's not true. And they've got more opportunity for people like Mike Cernovich and other, quasi celebrity people from various niches that are health maxers. They've got opportunity for more people to come out and, speak positively of them. I don't know by the time it actually gets settled in court. I don't know if it's going to matter that much. I mean, especially if they release ice cream and everybody likes it. I mean, how much is it going to matter? 18, 24 months, however long it takes to play out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think the mainstream will probably not capture all of this. And so we are a subsect of a subsect where we're overanalyzing it a bit. I also think, ice cream's going to absolutely crush. And, we have a guy on the show who's in that space and would love his take on this. But I think they're just going to move forward all full steam ahead. But would love, this is an open invitation. Peter, I have said some things on this podcast about David. I want you to come on the show to right the wrongs of them. I want to be proven wrong about all of these things. And this is an open invitation to Peter to come on the show, or Zach, their president, to come on the show.
Yes, come on the show. And I'll say, hey, Oren John, who will also be a guest on here today, he would say that you're doing interesting things, which I think is one of his highest compliments. I think one of the few interesting brands. I look forward to seeing how it all plays out, but I think a great job by them for not having like a famous founder, in the sense that, several 100,000 followers like Brian Johnson was. A great job in him getting in there, replying, and then fast. I mean, the brand coming out and releasing successive videos. They've released multiple videos to fit into the conversation. Great job by them.
Yeah.
Now, we have Joe Rotondo coming in here, but before we bring him in the show, we need to talk about Seguno. Ladies and gentlemen, Seguno is the only marketing suite that lives entirely inside of Shopify. Why is that important? It means your email and your reviews and your banners, all of it is already there where you work and play every day. Why is that important? It means that you don't have to trust some duct tape together integration that hopefully is passing verified data back and forth. Your Shopify data is the data. This is email 3.0, ladies and gentlemen. This is why Seguno won the 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. If you go to seguno.com, they'll give you a free trial, one-click automations, actual humans who can help you do what you're trying to do. If you tell them that Colin and I sent you, they'll extend that free trial to 30 days. If you don't have a full-time email marketer on your team, Seguno was built for you. Many thanks for Seguno being part of the show. Now, we have a very interesting, I would say, category creator that is coming into the show right now. This, and what he has brought to the market, is cottage cheese as ice cream. And I know some of you might think that doesn't sound like that correlates to deliciousness on my taste buds. Some of you may think that, and you are wrong. You are wrong for thinking that. Okay.
True.
This brand has gone from his apartment kitchen to 400 plus Sprouts stores all across the country. And he's going up and to the right from there. I'm talking about the one and only Joe Rotondo, founder and CEO of Seedance. Joe, get in here.
What's up, y'all? I appreciate you guys having me today.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We've been excited to have you on here, brother. I would say this product, smear case, and you being the protein dealer, to me, it's so interesting. It's so interesting. And man, I would love if you would just take us back and just give all our listeners who maybe don't know, and give us some perspective on origin story here. Man, how did you go from bringing cottage cheese in its native state to making it delicious and bringing a better for you ice cream product to the American market? How did that actually happen?
Yeah, I appreciate the intro. There's definitely a shock factor to what we're doing. The name in itself, your case, cottage cheese, right? Ice cream, like all these sort of buzzwords. So there's a lot going on, but yeah, the origin goes as I was training for a marathon in June of 2023, was craving ice cream after a tough workout. And I'm a big nutrition label guy, so I'm pulling out every single pint of ice cream to see which one had the most amount of protein. Except
Yeah.
I quickly remember that ice cream is truly terrible for you.
Yeah.
And that's when the light bulb moment went off, was like, this is crazy that there's no protein in ice cream, because ice cream is made from dairy. Dairy is a great source of protein. So how is there no protein in ice cream? So I go home and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to eat my go-to healthy dessert, which is a bowl of cottage cheese, honey, and blueberries. And that's when the light bulb moment went off. It was like, wow, nobody's making high protein ice cream. Nobody's doing frozen cottage cheese. And then that's where I saw immediate white space. And to be truly disruptive, you gotta be innovative, right? I didn't want to just put protein powder into ice cream and call it high protein. We want it to be functional, have high nutritional value, and just pack a pint with as much value as possible, and doing that through real whole foods.
Love that. I mean, I think that's impressive in and of itself. The thought, and going from light bulb to this needs to happen to this needs to exist.
Yeah.
I can imagine going to, hey, now it's here and it tastes great. I can imagine that delta was significant. I mean, how do you go from light bulb to, hey, now we've got examples, cottage cheese, it tasting awesome, and it being valued. I mean, as much value inside of a pint as possible. What did that look like on your side?
Yeah, that's the goal. That was the goal, right? Like, I come from I have a background in food. I made bagels for my dad. He's owned Deli's restaurants, so I love cooking. I love cooking with my hands. I love ingredients. I love health, fitness, wellness, right? And true health lives in the ingredient list. So I just asked myself, what ingredients are necessary in ice cream? What can we add and what can we subtract? So every single ingredient must serve a purpose in our pint. And that means using cottage cheese and making that the number one ingredient, so have the most amount of cottage cheese as possible. Removing heavy cream so it's low in fat. Using real sugar, because that's integral to ice cream, and it's a lower process sweetener. And then we're adding collagen as like this incredible power tool that gives more nutritional value. It serves a clear purpose, adds a creaminess and a texture to our Froco that just leaves it unmatched. But wow, me and my sister were making this in my little New York City apartment kitchen with the ice cream maker, and honestly on like the third or fourth try, we found a formula that was just too good to be true. And that was just a result of us, really looking at the numbers and really looking at what ingredients we need and what we don't need, and yeah, we got it pretty quick.
Wow. Previously, Joe, right before you jumped on, we were covering David, and they've kind of teased the fact that they're going to be launching some protein ice cream. We're novices to this. We don't know about the ingredient list. One of their key kind of footholds that they talk about is this EPG thing. Do you know about this? Can you shed some light onto this? Because it seems like your focus is super clean ingredients and, stuff that should be in your body. We're trying to understand kind of all of this and the nutrition's behind, David, 150 calories. Could you talk a little bit about that?
In this, I obviously, it is my industry. Clear divide of, science-based, super, like, how can we hack the system in terms of longevity, GLP-1, most protein, right? We're doing that in the lab, right? In a scientific way. And then there's a more holistic approach, all natural foods, single ingredient whole foods, clean eating, ingredients before macros. So I think we're seeing these two ideologies of health sort of run parallel, right? And that comes in a variety of ways, not just in food, right? Fitness and this longevity trend. But EPG is essentially an artificial fat agent. So it's a binding system, and it's super low calorie, very efficient to use. But there is, evidence that it does cause gut issues, that, that is battled by David. And listen, like, uh, we're both trying to arrive at high protein. We're just doing it different ways.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, the EPG thing is interesting. Allulose is another interesting artificial sweetener that is super low calorie and again hacks the system of dopamine and get that sweetness. So it's interesting to see how these formulas sort of play together. I haven't looked at the detailed macros or ingredients of the David ice cream, so I can't really speak to it. But I'll be interested to see it come out. It's great for the category that we're building. High protein ice cream is definitely here.
Yeah.
We still remain the only cottage cheese based ice cream, so we're really bullish and excited about that.
Let's go.
Man, I love that not only are you pushing out in this emerging category that has a lot of heat behind it,
Yeah.
but you're doing it with a unique ingredient and you've got this unique name, Froco. Now, to me, it looks like you had in mind, like, hey, we want to create a category as we do this. We want to blaze a trail. And I would guess you probably trademarked that bad boy. I mean, did you? I mean, was that intentional? You had this in mind from the beginning, really blazing the trail for Froco?
Yeah. What's funny is when we were looking at some names out of short list and smear case kept popping off the page, right? It was just bold. It was polarizing, but it was like strong and action worthy. And it literally means cottage cheese. It comes from a German phrase, Schmierkäse, which the Pennsylvania Dutch used when they came over to America in like the 1800s, and they called cottage cheese smearcase. So it's an ode to our not so secret ingredient being cottage cheese. So that was first, right? And I just couldn't find a different brand name to go with because you got to stand out in this day and age. You're fighting for attention. If you look at the category set of ice cream, it's all first names, which seems a little bit boring to me. And then it sort of leans gluttonous and whimsical, right? We want it to be, we wanted to say strength, protein, functionality. Froco we coined that term a little bit later on, and that's what we call the product. The product is Froco, short for frozen cottage cheese, synonymous with sort of the frozen dessert aisle.
Right.
And we trademarked both terms to build our moat and to really plant our flag in the fact that we're the first movers. And we have the opportunity to sort of set the standard for what this product can be. And it's a great opportunity. Like, we're very fortunate and grateful for.
I think I lost him.
And set the a competitor will, no matter when. We know that. So we're doing we're doing the most to build our moat at this point of the journey.
So, Joe, you built this off the back of basically, I'm training for a marathon. I'm consuming and burning a lot of calories all the time. Are you trying to embed yourself within that, runner community, that marathon community? Or are you saying, hey, we want to tackle all of the fitness world, running aside, you can be high rocks, you can be anything. But are you trying to specifically embed yourself within running?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think at the onset, yes, just because I was solving my own problem. I was very active in the New York City fitness community. We would bring early iterations of the product just to get feedback from athletes and our actual target customer. You got to be niche, right? You got to really niche down in the beginning and really speak to really understanding, like, okay, there's more to our market. How can we target women? How can we target parents? How can we target how can we provide an alternative to children to still deliver that indulgent ice cream, but give them a little bit more nutritional value? So I think, we're still in the early days, and we're still really focused on that natural channel, that more premium market. But something that we're asking ourselves is, how can we reach the masses? How can we speak to how can we stay sort of tight on who we are to our core, but how can we sort of broaden our reach to widen that audience? Because we are bullish that this product is more, it isn't just for the runner. It's for that, that person looking to indulge, but getting a little bit something out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I wonder, Joe. I know you guys have gone. You've gone from your apartment kitchen to you're everywhere in Sprouts now, and I think you've probably got even more coming. In that regard, more places and such. And what unlocked that opportunity for you? Because I mean, in just such a short time, we're talking 2 or 3 years. That run is incredible. And was it the California Milk Advisory Board, or what really took you guys to the next level and unlocked those opportunities that now you're seeing everywhere?
Yeah, I think it's timing. Timing is so important, right? There's four factors that go into a startup. It's the product, it's the people, it's capital, and then it's timing. Timing is proven to be the most important, the most important variable of success, right?
Wow.
People know that cottage cheese is good for them because of good culture. People want ice cream and they want it in new, novel, innovative, and healthier ways. And this whole protein movement is happening, right? So timing plays such a big role in our success. I also think the shock factor and the virality of cottage cheese ice cream. It's like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
wow, right? Like to so many people, it's like this is crazy, but then there's so many people, it's like this makes so much sense. And then for some people, it's like this is wild. I need to try it, right? So and then honestly, a ton of hard work. A ton of hard work goes into it. It's an everyday battle. We're waking up every single day, getting the job done and going after what we need to do. But we put ourselves in a position to get a little bit lucky. We launched at the Fancy Food Show in 2024, and Whole Foods buyers were there, Sprouts buyers were there, and a month after that, we got reached out to do a regional launch. So there's a ton of factors that go into it, but I think giving yourself a shot and a chance at success requires good timing and positioning yourself to get a little bit lucky. And some of it is chance and some of it is strategic. I think you gotta play the game like a chessboard that it is.
Love that.
Wow.
Love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, you're really thinking about this like a true, I would say more of like an analyst instead of just, some founders we have on the show, it's very much they're all marketing pure grit, but it seems like you're coming at this more from a 10,000-foot view of analyzing everything. What's for the future for you guys? I mean, you guys are in insane amount of stores already. What is it? You guys are going to be in all of Sam's Club, all of Costco, all of Whole Foods. What is it? What's next?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think when you have you got to get your hands in the weeds. At the beginning, it's a little bit of gut intuition and a little bit of vibes, right? But I think as you get your reps in, you understand like, man, this is a business. It's not a hobby. It's not a game.
Yeah.
It's a true business. How can we treat it as such? How can we capitalize on the opportunity at hand and run our race, play our game, and go out and compete? I think that's like the competitor in me. I just love the process. I love the work. I love showing up every day and seeing what I'm made of. And I think as you grow a business, right, you're growing yourself, and those two you got to do at the same time.
Yeah.
Because the stage gets bigger, the stakes get higher.
That's
But
right.
what's next? Like we're coming off of a nationwide launch in Sprouts, so you can find us there. We won
Awesome.
a pitch competition at Expo West, won $200K from Albertsons, and they want to launch us stores, which is very surreal. We're still sort of riding that high, but also as you're riding that high, you're like, how the heck is this going to happen? So like, what's next is like, we want to dominate Sprouts and Whole Foods. Those are our top two retailers, right? That's where our customer is. That's where we can really go out and compete because the customer is sort of cost agnostic and they're looking for health and innovative ways. So the natural channel and then conventional, I think it's on us to execute. I think we have a really special opportunity at hand right now, and it's just on us to go out and take care of business.
Man, tell us this, Joe, because this is, I think, a significant question for a lot of brands. Maybe they lean heavier D2C, e-com, or vice versa, heavily on retail, etc. When you launch, you're getting into Albertsons now. That's such an important opportunity that you have to crush and own that.
Yeah.
What's the playbook look like? Because, we've seen what, Josh and Aligned Growth has done with Update, the new Kim K drink and what they're doing there. what does the playbook look like for you guys? Because I imagine it has to be more than just like our product is awesome, it's going to go and it's going to sell because it's awesome. What's the playbook look like to actually make that happen and make sure that pints are moving?
It's full court press, high speed offense, the scoring triangle, you name it, we're doing it. You know what I mean? Like you like having a good product is one thing, you know, but getting people to grab it off the shelf and inspect it, that's another thing. And then to convert the customer is the ultimate goal, is the ultimate quest. So I think now we're really trying to think about our marketing approach and how can we come at customers from all angles, test different approaches, test different where we sort of sinking in how are they converting. And I think we're monitoring all of that, and we're still testing different strategies. You know, do store demos perform better than a UGC campaign? Does a UGC campaign perform better than a digital couponing service? So, you know, all these things are sort of on our switchboard, and we're pulling all the levers strategically, and we're timing them and phasing them out. And listen, like, again, we've only been in market for 20 months. How can we then, and we have limited data we have a 1 full year in market, right? Limited data to look at. So what I'm really excited to dig my heels into is, you know, looking at the data stories, seeing which levers drive the most ROI, what's dead weight, and what can we pour more gas on to get that, you know, sort of ROAS up, that ROI. But it's a constant, like, listen to the data, follow those stories, listen to the trend lines, listen to customers. But I think, you know, the more you are everywhere, you know, we live in an attention economy. So you just, at the end of the day, you sort of just never know, especially this early in the stage.
I dig it, man. Full court press.
Yeah. I mean, Joe, when I'm hearing you talk, it reminds me of Marcus at Minted, how he's looking at the business from this kind of performance standpoint. It also reminds me of Michael at Ketone IQ, the founder of Ketone IQ. It also reminds me of Steven at Cuts Clothing, where he's saying the sport of business.
Yeah.
Are you working with any of these guys? Because it seems like such a natural synergy between you two to just work together and do a collaboration of, you know, Cuts Smear Case, Cuts
there we
Smear
go.
Case, Ketone IQ. Like let's roll one of these out. What are we doing here?
I love it.
Man, just to be mentioned the same sentence as some of those guys is such an honor. Like, I look up to I admire what they're doing. They serve as an inspiration. I've interacted with them a handful of times, just like over the digital sort of world. But man, I appreciate that. It would be incredible to collaborate in some way. But yeah, that means a lot.
I tell you too, you know, Albertsons just rolled out a new digital ad network inside their stores. Next time I'm in Albertsons, I want to see Smearcase up on those screens shouting at me to come over to the come over to the Froco aisle and get my pint. Man, Joe, we really appreciate you coming on the show, brother. We love what you're doing inside of the space. Course, we're going to stick up with you, and we want you to come back. Man, tell everybody if they want to go grab their smear case today, and where should they find it? What flavor should they have first? Man, tell everybody where to go get what you cooking. Oh, I think we lost him.
Wine and Sprouts. If there's not a look at store near you, you can order it online for delivery. But yeah, be on the lookout. You can follow us on Instagram at Eat Smear Case, or TikTok, or you can follow myself on LinkedIn at Joseph Rotondo. But it was great talking to you both, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter.
Awesome. We appreciate you, Joe. Thank you,
Thank you so much. Take care.
Man, it's so interesting. Who would have ever thought? I would have never had the thought, like, you can make cottage cheese, number one, tasty. Number two, I would have never thought that you can make it a frozen tasty treat that I'd actually choose instead of ice cream. But I think I've been won over.
Yeah. I mean, also, Joe, his mindset with the business as well, he is treating it as an athlete would kind of treat how he's approaching the race. And he is taking all of those lessons and putting it towards the business. We're seeing this time and time again. It's a really interesting theme that we're kind of pulling out.
I want to see somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger eating this thing. I want to see, you know, or maybe Aaron Judge as he's winning the World Baseball Classic, just
I like
pop
that.
out a little pint of smear case as his celebratory snack. So interesting. So interesting. For me, it's like a mind boggler. It's like, burnt fried cottage cheese. What? It's not a very appetizing looking food, but when you look at smear case, it looks good. You know, I think this is great. I hope every good tasting thing that I should have ate in the 90s becomes a better version of itself. We have Oren John, the one and only internet's creative director, coming in the show. But before he comes, we need to talk about AMP. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't explain how your business is doing in a sentence or two, do you know how your business is doing? I don't think you do. Your LTV, your CAC, how you're trending toward forecast, up, down, left, right. The wonderful thing about AMP and their favorite tool of mine, Lifetimely, is that when you get inside of that thing, all of the questions you and your team have about how your business is actually doing can all be answered in one easy place and space that's beautifully visual to look at and also not a headache to access. If you get Lifetimely, you get all of their other tools for free that are designed to put profit back into your pocket. And what they are doing with their AI, not just you prompting it, but it prompting you, I think is one of the most unique cases for artificial intelligence inside of D2C. This cohort, this product, this offer test, just hit go. I'm ready. We're going to have Patrick Barnes, CEO of AMP, back on to talk about it very soon. Go to useamp.com. Get on that platform today. Scale with confidence in 2026. If you don't know your numbers, I'm not sure that you can scale with confidence. Save yourself a headache. Go to useamp.com today. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, we have the internet's one and only creative director. I consider him a cultural synthesizer and soothsayer. I would consider him a cultural soothsayer. Okay. He is a social savant. I would even call him the master of gel blasters. I am talking about the one and only Oren John. Oren, get inside the show. Get in here, Oren.
What's going on, guys? How's it going? Let's go.
Yes.
That's good. Strong intro. Haven't heard the word soothsayer recently.
Yeah. Well,
let's go. Yeah, strong ad read too, not gonna lie. Sounds like you've done a few of those.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been around here and there, Oren. I had to dig out that word for you because I know you are a appreciator of words.
I do. I love the I love a verbose vernacular. So
right. Okay. Oren, man, we've been wanting to have you on here for so long, and you have been talking about the status of hot as of late, which I am a big lover of. And I agree with you, brother. I think overt sexuality, I mean, it seems like, man, it is the now, and it's everywhere. And it seems to be different than the kind of the, you know, millennial malaise of, hey, we're all great how we are, and you know, celebrate that. And it's different than it was a few years ago. Man, how has that happened? What's the motivators behind that?
Yeah, well, I think, look, we are all we're all marketers in one way or the other. So I'm always looking for insights, right? Like, what can we base an ad on? What can we base a campaign on? And I work a lot in beauty space, in the fashion space, right? And there's a lot of crossover there. They're thinking about like they want. Now, look, a lot of what anyone signals with beauty or makeup, right, is you're either signaling to others you want to impress, or you're trying to attract a partner, right? And so I do think we're at this very interesting time where dating apps have changed the entire landscape of how people interact. And at the same time, peptides have changed a lot of what the standards of beauty look like, where nutritional information and peptides have made people more beautiful than ever. And so those two things have combined to this really interesting state where I feel like there's a generation whose biological clock is really ticking, and the elder Gen Z who feel like they should be having kids. It's human nature, who haven't found their right partner, who dating is stranger than ever. Their relationships with others are perhaps more online than ever. And then you have millennials who are like, wait, like I'm 40 and I'm still hot. And I feel like I want to express myself in a different way. And I grew up with the Britney Spears era.
Right.
And, you know, like, and then the festival life. And so those are all like insights that have been percolating in my work for ads and have led to this kind of series where we're talking about it.
Wow. I find that to be so interesting. I mean, I think there's a real point there. I mean, do you agree, Colin? I mean, I'll say on the older millennial side, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people in my friend group. They still look great. I mean, they look like they should be.
I'll say, your skin's glowing. I'm not gonna lie, you know?
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's interesting, Chris, because there is this like segment of friend groups where you're like, God, they still look amazing. What is going on over there? And you see this where it's starting to break out in my friend group too. And I'm just a little bit younger, where it's like, God, they still look incredible. What is going on over there? And how my curiosity with all this is, how are brands leaning into this, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Look, and that's what now, look, we see this rise of all the food. I have this kind of other concept I'm playing with for a video called like performance products, right? Where it's like, okay, you can buy a water, you can buy a lipstick, you can buy a protein bar, you can buy a soda, you can buy the normal one, or you can buy the lifestyle version, like the liquid death, because I'm alternative. I'm going to buy, you know, the Death Wish coffee or Black Rifle coffee because supports my lifestyle. That used to be what you do, you counter position. And then now it's like the performance positioning. It's like, oh, I could buy the soda with prebiotics or with creatine or with protein or whatever. It's like, okay, if you have to choose in a vacuum between the normal thing, the lifestyle thing, and the performance thing, now everyone's like stocking their stuff with performance. And a big part of this, right, is I think we underestimate how many people in the US are on GLP-1s. It's like, it was like double-digit percents like 2 years ago. So now what are we at? 25, 30%? So which means everyone needs to be low sugar. Everyone needs to be high protein. You're like, how many protein bar companies can there be? How many electrolyte companies can we have? Well, if 30% of Americans are now thinking about their diet completely differently, then what does that market look like? And so I think that there's all these really fundamental trends that we can work into ads and stuff too. And not to yap for a minute here, but I was working on this. A friend of mine has a gym. We're workshopping his ads. He has like a high ticket offer for his gym, like a 90-day training thing. And I always like to do a wild card in an ad brief. It's like, okay, let's do the standard customer pain point. Let's do a testimonial. Let's do a wild card. What's your customer thinking about? What's a question they have that you could help answer? And one he was saying was, a lot of people in our gym are asking, how should I train? What should my meal plan be if I just started, you know, peptides? I don't want to talk to my doctor about it because I'm doing them offline, you know, and I don't know what to do. And so he's like, oh, hey, we can be the person for that. We can put that in an ad. We can put it on the landing page. We'll build you a customized plan. We have experts. We have X and Y. I work with this lab. And I was like, oh, that's an awesome offer. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. That's worth testing in the ad account, on the lander, in email, and then see it.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. I think it's compelling to see how much of our culture and products and marketing is being shaped by our ability to buy sexiness or our ability to hack our way to, you know, being hotter or what we would have aspired to be while we were watching Spring Break on MTV as we were growing up.
But now it's everything. The other part is it's so performative now, right? Like the way you guys have sets, you guys have backgrounds, everyone's outfits, you're online. All of a sudden, all of this just matters so much more than ever.
That's a good point.
Wow.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So are all brands just going to have an in-house clavicular? Is that the end point of all of this?
But yeah, well, I do just think it's like worth thinking about those ad angles. Like people are more egotistical and selfish, and their forward-facing appearance matters more than ever. And so when you're looking for insights, right? Like all of us, if you're anyone that's briefing ads right now, you need so many concepts. I need to come up with so many unique concepts every week just to like be putting more ads in ad accounts. And so you just have to be like, what are these insights? And I think that's just one that's always just worth having in the back of your mind. Like, how does this new, everyone's on camera, everyone looks a little better, how does that impact like the creative we can run?
Wow, that's a great point. Oren, I have heard you talk of this often, and I've always wanted to ask you about it. When you say that a brand is doing something interesting, that is very profound to me. Because you know, I come from a years gone by school of thought that, you know, a brand should have a problem that they solve, a message, and then you beat it to death. Basically, you beat that messaging to death. And what I hear about you often doing is just it's advocating for brands to find a way to be relevant regardless of what conversation is happening online. Could you just contrast those for me and tell me about that, because I find it such a compelling concept.
Yeah, so I think we need to think about. I look at all marketing now. Everything is either how is it? Where's my organic social or where's my ads? Right? What is going to impact that? And they both have this core problem, right? Where if you want your organic social to win, you need top of funnel reach. You need to tell Instagram who your customer is and reach them somehow. And the same thing with the ad account, right? The more people in your core demographic you reach, whether it's through your ads or your organic, the better that the targeting is going to be for them, right? And so you need to be able to participate in the conversation to reach that target, right? Your goal isn't necessarily to get your value point across every single touch point. It's to even reach who your target customer is. If you're like, I'm trying to reach 35 to 45-year-old Latinas, it's like, what cultural conversations can you participate in to even get them clicking in the funnel, in the advertising group, in telling Meta, that's my person. And I think that that's something that's just underthought about. And again, that's not something you need to worry about necessarily 0 to 20 mil, but for everyone bigger than that, it becomes a brand awareness thing. Like, how do we get better targeting? How do we get more reach? How do we scale the ad account is an awareness issue. And the cultural conversation is one of the easiest ways to participate in that.
That's a very great point on top of funnel. That's a
really good point. Yeah. I mean, Oren, can you just touch a little bit on this? I feel like most people are able to go 10,000 foot view at stuff. I feel like you are one of the rare people where you can go 50,000 foot view of everything and kind of see everything from a macro trend standpoint. How did you develop this lens to look at the world? And if I'm the marketer and I'm sitting at 5,000 and I want to get a little bit higher and see everything, how do I do that? How do I develop this skill that you have to see things at such a macro level?
Yeah, I just think you just need to get as close to the numbers as possible. Like, a really formative experience for me was I was the director of marketing at a company, and they fired the VP of sales, and I had to help manage the sales team. And even just from a lead flow, I already had to give them leads, but now we had to be like, okay, I need to get into calls and velocity, and we're doing round robins, and I got closer to the numbers than ever. And you're fearful of that, right? Every marketing person, wants to be like, oh, I'm gonna step away from this. But then when you're in it, you're like, oh, all of a sudden what I do is more quantifiable than ever. And I'm closer to the money. And I think that for every marketer, I just highly encourage you to, like, everyone's afraid to get in the ad account, afraid to be accountable for a sales lead, or afraid to have a KPI for X or Y. Oh, I do something grander than this. Like, nah, get as close to the numbers as you humanly can, because as soon as you can justify your decisions, even if it's just like, if you're like, oh, an email is worth X to me, and a lead is worth, like, a qualified lead is worth Y, and an initial sale is worth X in your lifetime value or whatever, and you have those in your head, and you can spin up any campaign you could humanly desire, as long as you can prove those numbers, you can now justify to a CFO or whatever. That's how you get to do interesting stuff in your career. So I just learned to get close to the numbers and love it. And I just highly encourage everyone else to do it too. And I feel like we're doing that now, right? In the creative strategist era, in the like Andromeda ad account era, like, people are getting more close to it than ever. But if you are afraid of it, or even if it's late, even if you're a CMO and be like, I don't want to think about the Meta ad account, just get in the game. It's a life changer.
Wow. Yeah. I did not expect that answer from you. That is a really good take. That's an incredible insight.
Well, he who owns the responsibility for the number and will be rewarded. The greater the risk, the greater the reward.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us this on the creative strategist, Oren. I have been wanting to ask you this because we just had Carson Diamond on here, who's top headhunter inside of our game. He has said creative strategist is the hottest role in D2C right now. We have also had very bright minds on here, Oren, who have said, hey, in the AI era, creative strategist is dead. That's a pseudoscience. And, that's going away. But make the case for us. Why is creative strategist?
I do think people define these roles. They'll define creative strategist in the older form of it. But really, there's an amalgamation of these roles that everyone's trying to solve right now. And some people are calling it like head of social. Some people call it head of growth. Some people are looking for senior creative strategist. But at the end of the day, it's someone who needs to not just brief, right? That's the first thing. Is anytime anyone says creative strategist, I think it's just someone that's briefing. That's where they're wrong, right? And if you're a creative strategist, you think you can get away with just briefing, that's who's going to get replaced, right? Because the briefing is now easier than ever. We have a system, the back end stuff that we have set up through Cut 30 now to allow us to brief ultra fast is crazy. That's all automated with AI. But what the person actually needs to do, this head of growth, head of social, senior creative strategist role, is pull all these pieces into the world. Be like, cool, I need always on creators. I need fast turn creators. I need to be able to brief the people internally on my team. I need to be able to pass this carousel to a designer, and I need to be able to feedback it. And I need to be able to make sure that, okay, this worked well in the ad account here. Should we repurpose it on TikTok? You're now the hub for both briefing and the actual actions, right? Oh, did you hit the fucking shot list at the shoot? And is the person at the shoot using the right thing? Like all of a sudden your responsibilities are huge because you understand what works and how to brief what works. And that role is the most important role. That's the one everyone's trying to get. It's more tactical than the SVP, CMO, the more antiquated high-level stuff that less people need than ever. But it's more thoughtful and project manager focused than just being a single contributor. I do email, I do copywriting. Yeah. And so I think that's what everyone's trying to solve. And it's an amazing place to be, right? If you are a go-getter and you are also have creative ideas, like the world is your oyster right now.
That being tactically involved, practically working out the many things, organizing, etc. I mean, that makes so much sense. And Carson was saying that they just landed a role for somebody doing this exactly that paid somewhere in the 250 range, I think is what.
The pay is high. This is what it's funny. We just, like last month, I started doing a training for that, similar to Cut 30 that we have that's more expensive. And it started because I had an agency come that was like, we want to train 17 of our people who are all individual roles to do that. And so I made like a thing, and then I was like, okay, cool. Now let's scale that to one-to-one. But that's the core. The biggest problem people have for this, and the reason it's being paid so much is there's no way to graduate naturally in the working ladder. It's not like, I work as a media buyer for 2 years and now I'm a creative strategist. It's like you need all of these skill sets that really come from like, I'm a little bit of a creator and I happen to have this job. And then I went to that, just all these people that don't have traditional roles, and you need a training focus for it. So I think that's going to be the biggest point here is like, how do you internally develop those skills, or how do you pay for a program to do it? But I think it's going to be the onus is going to be on the company to train up their own people because there's just not enough to go around. And then the price is getting ludicrous.
Well, I think people should just take your program. And I say this because right before I started this show, I was going to take this program. I sat in on one of these, and I thought it was, man, give us more on that. Tell people what you do and why, how they can acquire the skills to fill the hottest role in D2C.
Yeah, look, the hardest part about this is that you need to be able to understand organic marketing. So either you are a creator or you're a social media manager. That's kind of like a skill set you need to have. What are the algorithms? How do I test that? How do I have a system with which I do analytics? And then it needs to be, okay, now I need to also be in the ad account. I need to be some responsibility. What are all the terms? What's basic level campaign structure? What do I need to ask a media buyer? What can I improve? What's scale? What's, what does this even mean? What's a catalog ad? Like all the basics of that. And then the coordination part. I need to make a campaign. I need to have a monthly new package of assets. Where do I hire? Where do I find creators? Like there's so many questions. Like, so you can basically just from those three things, list out 100 questions. And so we literally made you run through this thing. It's got like 30 days of X similar to Cut 30, but then a longer support cycle because it needs a longer support cycle, like longer Slack and all that, longer calls. Where it's like, here's your exact framework. Here's the analytics you run. Here's how you measure it every week. Here's the email you send your boss. Here's how you brief a creator. Here's where you hire creators. We're just going to answer every single one of those questions. So make it completely dumb proof, right? And because that's what you have to do. And then also, but most importantly, have a group that's doing it. So it can be like, this ad worked for me. Oh, what should I charge for this? Is this too much to pay for why? And then get real people feedbacking. And so like, that's newer, right? We're in the, it's not in the, like, we've had 2,000 people through Cut 30, but I was like, okay, there's a future for this because this role isn't going away.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no way people are going to graduate naturally through it.
I like that framing.
Yeah, it reminds me of kind of the support system that Andrew Foxwell has put together for agency guys, where it is an incredible support system of agency guys helping other agency guys. You have talked a ton about brands that are doing interesting things. Chris touched on this earlier. Do you have any brands that are kind of inside the kimono that you're not really ready to share quite yet that are doing interesting things that we should pay attention to? You're willing to drop on the show?
Yeah. Let me one second. Let me pop into the bookmarks folder.
There we go. The infamous bookmark folder.
Gosh, that I would love to get into that. That unto itself is its own asset right there.
That someday needs to be sold.
There's if you saw the size of my reference notion is actually fucking staggering.
Someday that thing needs to be sold on acquire.com, I think.
Yeah.
They need to acquire Oren's bookmark folder.
He's really doing something interesting. There's a Yeah, I'm just like, what's right there? There's a controversial one. There's this brand called Leaked Labs. It's like an influencer beauty brand that is getting crushed on TikTok right now because people don't understand the model, but it's doing really well on Instagram because people are a little more receptive there. That's very interesting. They're like a prototype brand, like run by 2 influencers. That's like basically taking like experimental products to market early and then like validating them. That's a really interesting one. And then the way they're doing creative is really interesting. I'm trying to think of what else.
Leak Labs. Got it.
Yeah, Leaked Lab. Leaked. That's an interesting one.
Leak Labs.
Scrolling through who's really. I had like a great off the cuff answer. I was just in Japan, and you know what's interesting to me? There's a brand. If you guys are familiar with Gentle Monster, like the sunglass brand, they do all the big marketing. There's a knockoff brand for them, also from South Korea. It's in a lawsuit with Gentle Monster. It's just the same brand but cheaper. That was just packed, and that was really interesting to me. Yeah, it's called Blue Elephant, and so the stores were packed. I always look at when I'm out and about. I'm always like, what stores are the youth in? And so in Japan, Blue Elephant, multiple locations were just packed with the youth. And it was just really interesting to be like, okay, this established luxury thing that markets extremely well, that does all this high profile stuff, but no one can afford. These guys just made the B-list version at a third of the price point. And I was like, man, we're going to see so much of that. There's no reason anymore to pay the premium. We all know it's just fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
We're just paying markup. That why would you not just be like hammering, like there's a better reason for that dupe brand to exist. And I thought that was a really interesting seeing it play out like in Asia.
I think that's right on. We have covered this so many times. Goodwill is crushing right now. They're having their best years ever. Ross, TJ Maxx, etc. It seems like as the K-shaped economy continues, there's a lot more value to be had on this lower side of the spectrum for e-commerce and for brands, etc. That typically we would stay away from. It's always sell to the top 10%, etc. But there's arbitrage to be had there.
Yeah, well, the consumer is also just more educated. The consumer knows now. After last year on TikTok, they're like, oh, well, I know this luxury bag is not worth more than that. So either you want the signal so badly you don't care, or you feel akin to the community. Like I always love to call out Represent because they sell expensive stuff, but it's worth it because those guys really want to buy into Represent. They watch the YouTubes, they go to the run club, they want to be like those guys. They feel something about it, so it's worth the premium for them, even though you could get that same shirt at a lower cost, right? And they can tell those guys really care about the fit, all that. Yeah. And so it's like, cool, you're either buying into that, like a true community lifestyle, or it's becoming way more of a price play than ever.
Go ahead, Colin. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you know any specific categories that you see are ripe for disruption for that specific kind of luxury aspect where you're like, God, someone could come in here and just make a really nice bathtub or something like that. I don't know. I'm just spitballing products, but
yeah,
I'm sure
I think we've seen a lot of these, like obviously like Kingston. There's like a big conversation around like there's so many of these brands now that are like kind of playing into this. I don't know if there's like a huge category I'd see like off the like obviously it's happening in fragrance, it's happening in so many of these. So I don't know if I basically think like everything is saturated, right? So I think it's more of I think it used to be a category. To your point, okay, I could come into towels and disrupt it. Now it's almost brand specific to the point of like, oh, Gentle Monster, that's a target. We're going to create a brand that's literally going after their base because that's also easier than ever now. Where it's like, okay, if I see a big enough TAM, the way that the algorithms work, I can just go after the single thing. And so I think that's particularly interesting to me. But yeah, I don't have a great answer like off the top of my head. Also, I have to pop on to I got my 11 o'clock.
We appreciate you coming, brother. Thank you for making the time. We look forward to having you back.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, man.
Wow. Orange on, man. That's great. Knower of ball.
A knower of ball.
A knower of ball.
How much you think that bookmark tab's worth?
It's gotta be a few six figures. Gotta be. I mean, there's gotta be at least a hundo.
Give that over. Come on.
His bookmark folder. Yeah, that's got to be at least worth a hundo. The only problem is that you need to buy his updates thereafter. Actually, this would be a great info product. It's actually buying Oren's bookmark folder. We should clip this and send this to him because this would be a great info product to go alongside the Creative Strategist Development Program and to go alongside Cut 30.
Yeah, just auto populates and pushes into a Slack channel. Yeah, this is so much. This is super valuable. I wish I could get this.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, a
Yeah,
one-time buy, make it substantial, and then
sure.
you know, you got to buy the monthly updates.
Yeah,
I think it's only fair.
yeah,
Wow. I wanted to ask him, and we'll have to bring him back to
for
ask him
sure.
this. But in the AI era, who are, I
Ah,
mean, winners, losers, you know, what are you bullish on? What are you bearish on? It would have been interesting
yeah.
to have Sir Orin John. He needs to get knighted so that we can call him Sir Orin John. Well, before we move forward, we should talk about PostScript, ladies and gentlemen. You know, focus is an amazing thing, is it not? When you focus, boy, you get outsized results. And that's what happens with PostScript on SMS marketing. When people make the switch from whatever solution they have, that usually they're doing about 6 or 7 things all together for the sake of convenience. When they make the switch to PostScript for SMS marketing only, they see an average 22% increase. Now, I did not see that. I saw a whole lot more. Okay. When I made the switch, we went from making very little money on SMS to being a top 1% account on their entire platform inside of a year. And that's simply because I did what they said. If you go to postscript.io/SMS-benchmarks, what you'll see is the data on your vertical, your revenue band, what you should be making with SMS, and how you can get up and to the right. We are going to have CMO Mike on the show this week, I believe. He's going to drop some sauce on what is happening conversational data wise. It's the new oil in our age, ladies and gentlemen, and what they are doing with AI Shopper. That is an absolute game changer. Many thanks for PostScript being part of the show. Moving forward here, Colin, Americans are demanding refunds. They're demanding refunds from the 180 billion in tariffs they paid for, and they're suing companies like Costco to make it happen. Okay, does this like, this ranks as interesting for me? Does this like rank on your interesting meter?
this is a nightmare, is what this is. This is a nightmare that is now going to unfold in front of our eyes.
It is an absolute nightmare. Let me give you some details on this. Okay, so Illinois shopper Matthew Stockov filed a proposed nationwide class action against Costco on March 11th, arguing the warehouse club should pass tariff refunds directly to customers who paid inflated prices and not pocket the windfall. The Supreme Court struck down Trump-era tariffs on February 20th. Costco is now seeking government refunds via the Court of International Trade. And of course, now customers are seeking refunds from Costco and other companies. CEO Ron Vakris pledged lower future prices. Plaintiffs say that helps future shoppers, but not past ones. Similar suits have been brought against FedEx. There is a guy who is now suing Ray-Bans, I believe. He paid like $300 for sunglasses, and he's saying it should have cost $260, but you raised the prices due to tariffs. Give me my money back. So I find this to be very interesting. I agree with you. This is an absolute nightmare on what could take place over the next, call it 9, 12 months. If anybody's inside of retail, especially stores, they should be paying attention because this could get very messy very quickly.
Yeah. You said 9 to 12 months, more like 9 to 12 years. The ability to untangle the mess that is now this is going to be insanity. The amount of cash that is now going back, and then also the amount of paperwork that now has to be moved around back and forth. Just the sheer cost of paperwork and cost to go through all of this stuff is going to be a metric boatload of money on top of the total amount that people are and individuals are going to get refunded. So this is just, I mean, the biggest ball of wax there ever was. It is a nightmare.
Let me give you some details here that I don't know what to make of, but point to the fact that you're bringing up. This is going to get worse and will be an absolute nightmare. This article is from Fortune. According to the lawsuit I'm reading now, the proposed class could contain more than 100 Costco customers. Okay, not that many. More than 100. Okay.
Just representing.
Allegedly owed more than $5 million in tariff refunds.
Mhm.
That I don't get. Okay. More than 100 customers owed 5 million? That doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. Like, how many groceries were they buying? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what kind of customers these are, but that's a lot of money per customer for just over 100. The complaint pointed to previous reporting from Fortune. So apparently, the class action suit complaint was citing previous articles from Fortune, which cited a Goldman Sachs projection from August 2025, indicating consumers had absorbed 22% of total tariff costs, but were projected to bear 67% of those costs by October 2025, as more costs were passed down. It's not just Costco that shoppers want on the hook for redistributing refunds. This Ray-Bans example is crazy. A single guy claiming he was entitled to a tariff refund because the price of one sunglasses model increased from $287 in March 2025 to $304 in May. So he is filing suit. The plaintiff bought his glasses in August, and then obviously there's FedEx, etc. Not good.
Yeah.
Now, what companies are saying is like, hey, wait, let this thing play out where we get paid some money back, and we'll kind of adjust things for the future. And they're saying, no, give me my money now.
Yeah, you know who the true winners of this are going to be, right?
The lawyers.
The lawyers of all this is going to be the lawyers. And specifically, if you want to get a little bit AI with it, it's going to be Harvey. So Harvey AI is litigation software for, it's basically ChatGPT layered on top of litigation education. 30% of all big law firms now use Harvey. They just raised a new valuation for like $50 billion. They're unbelievable. They're on a tear. So if you wanted to, drop down to a single company on who's going to be a huge winner for this, Harvey AI is going to crush.
Wow. First I've heard of Harvey. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Well, an AI video generator, Colin, that we have covered before, made a clip of Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt and broke the internet. And now Hollywood is disallowing its existence on planet Earth. And ByteDance is pulling it back. This article comes to us from TechCrunch, I believe. Yes, TechCrunch. ByteDance launched Seedance 2.0 in China. Ton of viral clips. Actually, there was a creator here on Twitter or on X that we will highlight here who just made a bag of about 29K last month because he's crushing with Seedance 2.0 videos. I want to read some of this article because this is the most advanced AI video model that has been put out there. People are making lots of money with it right now, and they seem to be rolling it back. What does this mean for AI Gen in the future? Let me read this to you. ByteDance has paused plans to launch its new AI video model globally, even though some people by chance and by way already have access to it. According to a report in The Information, the Chinese company best known as TikTok's parent organization, and now a minority shareholder in its US spinoff, launched Seedance 2.0 in China back in February. Brief videos generated by the model, including a clip featuring Tom and Brad fighting it out, soon went viral. Drew intense criticism from Hollywood, while one successful screenwriter declared that the footage meant it's likely over for us. Studios quickly sent ByteDance a flurry of cease and desist letters, with Disney's lawyers accused the company of a virtual smash and grab of Disney's IP. ByteDance responded, promising to introduce stronger standards. The company had planned to make Seedance 2.0 available globally in mid-March, The Information said, but it's delaying those plans as its engineers and lawyers work to avert further legal issues. Now, I think we should look at this example. I want you to pull up this example, Jack, of this guy, his account that he has made. Okay, scroll through here. You guys need to see Charles Curran's account. Okay, not this one. Don't show us that one. That is the one that broke the internet. No. Okay, don't show us that one. But look at some of these others. Okay, this guy's videos have absolutely crushed. Okay, here is him last month making 26K. Okay, Nikita Beer even commented and said, please make more videos. We love your videos. Okay, keep scrolling here. Yeah, this is his being featured in this article. Okay, all right, look at this. I mean, here's an example. Here's an example of one. Okay, it looks so real. and
Oh
good.
man.
Okay. This is Nicki Minaj, who is paving the way through the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. This is what the video is about. Okay. And this guy, he makes these videos so fast. Okay. Whatever is trending on the timeline, he has an incredibly hilarious video the next day whenever Abu Dhabi was getting, no, sorry, whenever Dubai was getting bombed, he made a video of the Mr. Beast challenge where female influencers had to escape Dubai. And then he debuted it literally the next day. Okay. And it's so real and it's hilarious and it's on point. Here's him making one of the Rizzler, who is flying in a Top Gun Maverick style video and going to battle in some way. Okay. I say this to say the quality is so high and the output is so fast. I mean, this guy has gone through the roof. And I don't know of anyone else or any other model that can produce at this quality and at this hit rate. Okay. You can take it down now, Jack. I think we get the point. But to me, this is noteworthy because even though they're not releasing it globally, people have had access for a long time. I don't know how they have access. There are several tools that I'm signed up to that say, hey, you can make Seedance 2.0 with our tool.
Yeah.
So somehow people have had access for a long time and people are crushing with it. I want to use it. I want to use it because my man has been blowing up on social with it. And I've been thinking of videos that I can make. Maybe with Taylor Holiday making a visually generated appearance in them and doing hilarious things that D2C Twitter might find funny. I hope that we recover it for the sake of internet hilarity. Your thoughts, Colin?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, kudos to this guy for just jumping on the current trends and just absolutely going bananas. And, this is a ton of effort to constantly churn around this, zeitgeist videos every single day. So kudos to him. I see that this will eventually get pushed back out again. We'll eventually get Seedance 2.0. Maybe we'll have some type of restrictions on them, but it is pretty wild to see the quality that is coming out right now. That is just unbelievable from what it was 12 months ago.
It reminds me of what Jake Castillo said on this show last week. Founder of Cal AI, who just got acquired by MyFitnessPal. He said speed is the only moat.
That's it.
Speed's the only moat now. And, the more these tools enable us to do, then the more I want to stay up all night and work with them. I have been working. I do want to tease this right now. I don't know that Colin is excited as I am, but I have been Claude coding, my friends. I have spent several nights up until 3 a.m. and we're going to debut something in April that I think you're going to love. You're going to love it. Okay.
It's incredible.
Nowhere else on the internet. It does not exist anywhere else. This is the only thing of its kind. I know I'm not saying what it is because I want you to live in the tension of not knowing.
Yeah.
And it's coming. It's coming in April and you're going to dig it.
It's incredible. I've seen it.
Good on you. Thank you. Thank you.
For sure.
Giving me some pub there. This thing is exciting. It's exciting.
It's huge.
Okay, before we move on to our last few stories of the day, let's talk about incense, ladies and gentlemen. Don't we all want better ads? Yes, we do. We do. And we want humans to actually make them and be in them. I think that's justified. We'd like to have human hands involved, but let's be honest, the process is extremely disjointed. Finding a creator, manually negotiating usage rights, it's a headache. Incense is the all-in-one UGC and influencer marketing platform that actually makes creative scalable. All-in-one platform. You get a vetted creator marketplace, automated influencer outreach, built-in campaign management, content in as little as 14 days. Okay, this is so much better than just finding some random TikTok and hoping it scales your account. It's about building real relationships with real humans and developing real creative assets that can really scale your account across your funnel. We love working with Incense. Go to incense.pro, test drive that platform today. Get a free trial. Okay, we're going to have their CEO, Daniil, on the show this week to talk about the state of influencer today and all that is possible on the platform. Many thanks for Incense being part of the show. As we wrap up here, Colin.
Yeah.
Boy, There is a little leak here that has come out on the internet, and I would say this is truly what Apple should be debuting. And I hope that Tim Cook has this in his bag. This tweet comes to us from J. Cal of the All In podcast, and he has released this proposed leakage of what could be coming from Apple. This is the iPhone Ultra. Look at that thing. It is a foldable screen, okay, which I know already exists somewhere in the Android world, but it doesn't matter because it didn't come from Apple. And when it comes from Apple, it's actually exciting. Okay, 7.8-inch main, 5.3-inch cover display, Touch ID, power button, volume buttons, no buttons on the left side, blah, 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 blah. 12 gig RAM, Apple A20 Pro, Apple CT modem, titanium, aluminum, all of the things, and it's going to cost over $2,000. You know that I was saying this. In contrast to the Neo and to the going down market, they need to go up. This is Apple, baby. True innovation. Make everybody pay more. Okay, what's your thoughts on this?
Do you like it? Are you going to get one?
I think it's exciting. Yes, it's like actually innovative. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like a cooler, like a quasi cheaper version that's kind of like the same thing as we already had. It's a foldable screen. I mean, Apple's never had a foldable screen before.
For sure, that's fair. I can't wait to fold my iPad. That's going to be exciting. I think that's what we got here is a foldable iPad. I can't wait to just go boop, like a little book and then plop it in my pocket. And then I'm going to be walking in the city and some pickpocket's going to come along and just plop that out because it's massive, but it's foldable and I can just plop it in my pocket. So yeah, dude, it's exciting stuff for Apple right now. This is true innovation. But I will say their Maxes are really interesting who actually debuted today.
You're more excited about those?
For sure. We live in the Air Maxes.
I mean, it's just like headphones to me. I don't get it. Like what's it's just headphones, you know?
It's quality. It's quality.
What's the deal?
Quality audio. It's audio. It's the audio is so good. Noise canceling. The audio is so good. Yeah, it's fire.
I don't really get it. Noise canceling. It's kind of like, okay, it's like another fancy pair of headphones. Like I got it, you know. I thought that you would be jazzed about the foldable iPhone. You weren't that jazzed. I don't think you were that hyped.
No, I hate the foldable tech idea. I just don't like it in general from like a product standpoint. So this was a hard one for me to win. If they came out with sunglasses, with Ray-Ban sunglasses that were basically the Apple Vision Pro, I'd be super pumped.
I think I'm just going to take my cards and go home. I failed us.
They'll be fine. They got all the cash in the world. They can test this. They can test 600 other products too.
But I thought I found something that you were going to be jazzed about, though.
I'll never get it.
I missed on that one. Well, we press on. We press on, ladies and gentlemen. When one experiences failure, one must pick themselves up and continue forward. I think you're going to like this one, though. This is the new mannequin that every retail has been waiting for. To look at that bad boy. Look at that bad boy.
Yeah.
For those who are just listening right now, okay, this is the embodiment of a male bulldog in a man mannequin form. And
I love it.
You know, I mean, he's probably, I would guess, let's say 5'6", and about as wide as he is tall. And you know what? I love it. Actually, when I see this with the bulldog mannequin beside it, it makes me want to come in and shop whatever is in that store. I actually do like this. I mean, as a man, I'm walking around in the mall, I see this. I'm like, yes, I want to go inside that store. Look at that mannequin. There's something about it that just stands out and I find quite lovable and endearing. Your thoughts?
Something about this where I trust this guy's opinion on meats and grilling, you know?
Yeah,
if he had an opinion on how I needed to grill up some stuff on a barbecue, I'd be like, tell me, let me know how I should do this. I trust him on it. I trust his vibes on it.
Yeah. I want it to be called dog. I want it to be called like Dad's Unlimited or something. Yeah. You know, something like some kind of store like that, you know, the man store.
The
It
man
used
store.
to be a man show, on Comedy
There is.
Central back in the 90s, early 2000s.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel. I mean,
Yeah,
Adam
Carolla.
Carolla. I think the man store needs to exist.
I'm ready.
And this mannequin needs to be there. Can we bring that back one more time, Jack? I mean, just
Yeah.
look at this thing. Look at that thing.
The man store, if you were wondering, it's called Bass Pro Shop, and it's a beautiful store. And they should put this guy in Bass Pro Shop.
This should be called the mannequin, capital MAN.
I like
mannequin. And then
I like that.
These need to be sold. Actually, we should start this store. We should start this. We'll spin up a Shopify website with Claude today, and we'll find our way. We'll find somehow to source the mannequin, and we will distribute this to Simon malls all over America as they should be distributed.
Yeah, I love it.
Last story of the day, my friends. Don't be sad. Last story of the day. New drop shipping demon just launched. Okay, this comes to us from, it's Alex, and she has found an incredible drop shipping offer that is absolutely crushing. We need some way to see these images, though, Jack. Is there any way that we can just pull them up live and click on them and look at them? I say this because this is a beautifully done product and offer. And let me tell you what it is. Okay. It is a custom sewn, at least it's purporting to be custom sewn lobster bag. Okay. So it's a woman's purse that looks like a lobster bag. Okay. And then you click in and it says, hey, I custom make each one. And then you go to the TikTok profile and it's her saying like, hey, I make these one by one and I'm running out of time, and please order now because they take a long time to get there and it takes a long time for me to make it. She's lowered the price from $120 to $89. And then her most popular video is one of her husband saying, oh man, please support my wife. She makes these lobster bags. Would you please check them out? I mean, look at this thing. It does look unique, does it not?
Yeah.
I don't think
it looks cool. We need to have more regulation about these types of videos because they're clearly AI. And we've brought this up a couple times on the show, and like, yes, they've made virality and it's cool and you can push sales and all of that stuff. But there is like this fact that this is a very gray area, like made by me, every single one. I will only make 10 to 15 a month once they sell out. You gotta wait. Like, these are just blatant lies on the website. And so we need to figure out some type of like, system to kind of catch these folks within the ecosystem.
Okay, well, let me just say, in potential defense of this person, you can bring us back here now, Jack. In potential defense of this person, do we know for sure that this isn't true? I mean, we don't. It could be the case. They could be
the
real.
Videos are so AI.
It could be real TikTok videos with an actual artisan, okay, somewhere in the main area that is stitching these bags together one by one. I mean, it could be. I don't want to pass. I want to pass early judgment. Perhaps it is real. Now, apparently, it did not pass the reality test for Alex, and she's got a strong nose for fashion. So, hey, I trust her eval, but just want to withhold, final review here because it could be real, could be actual.
This is like your grandpa woodshop ad that you brought up where you were like, I love this guy. He's great. And I was like, dude, this is the most AI thing in the entire world. And he's like, please, I only make 6 of these little woodshop things. And you're like, what is this even happening right now?
That was a great ad. It was objectively a great ad. It was.
But I am arguing the morality of if that should be an ad or not. I don't think it should be.
And the thing, I still got gypped on that scoring because there was no morality factor in the scoring. I don't remember there being a line of morality adjustment in the scoring. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So I'm just pointing that out for the next time that we do ad v ad. I don't know that morality should play into it. We're just talking about ads, strictly ads, you know, and how good they are. So just bring that up.
I'm gonna come up for the next ad v ad segment with the most grifter dropship ad in the entire world, and it's gonna be incredible. And you're gonna be like, wait, you can't do this. I'm like, no. It's an ad.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Well, you know what I'll do is I will tip my hat to you. I'll tip my hat to you for you know, outdoing me is what I'll do.
Thank you.
It's like we told Nate Lagos, you know, not so many weeks ago. Hey, if there's a hack and I can legally use it, like I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Now I don't want to lie. Okay. I'm not trying to lie. I'm not trying to commit fraud. Okay. I'm not trying to do the bad things, but you can call me Hack Daddy because if there's a way to hack our way to success, I want to utilize it.
I like it.
Many thanks to Joe Rotondo for coming on the show. Smear Case, incredible product. Man, they are going off to the moon. Man, that sounds like they're in Albertsons now. Incredible. Going to be rolling out there in addition to being everywhere in Sprouts across America. Many thanks to Orange John for coming in and dropping the sauce on us. I think anybody who wants to position themselves for a bright future inside of marketing as it is currently changing. Carson Diamond has already told us hottest position out there right now is creative strategist, and Oren himself has what seems to be an incredible path to give you practical tools for executing on that work. Take note. Many thanks to Incense and Seguno and Postscript and AMP for making this show possible. And we've got banger guests tomorrow coming as well. Banger guests. We got a mom. Should I say? Or should I?
Don't say.
You don't want me to say? I think we should
Drop
say.
Drop them. Big boys.
Drop them. We've got Amon from Ministry of Supply coming on tomorrow. And we've got Max Tuning of Sour Strips. Obviously had the big exit. I mean, if you don't know, he's also like a giant YouTuber. Giant. Okay.
Huge.
I primarily knew him for Sour Strips. And then only as of late, over the past few months, have I discovered actually Max is like giant, regardless of Sour Strips. Okay. They will be on the show tomorrow, and we look forward to having you back. We'll catch you on the other side.